On Mirabel, 7 outpost, night never really fell. There was only the endless black of space and the humming glow of artificial lights. Human Security Officer Daniel Cade walked the docking bay alongside his new partner, Rintal, a female Veari officer. Silver wave-like patterns glimmered across her skin, and her sharp eyes never rested. Daniel sighed. 1 month working with you, and we've already cracked 3 smuggling cases. Rintal replied evenly. This galaxy is rotten in ways you haven't even imagined, Cade. You'll see worse. That day, they were tasked to investigate an abandoned freighter forcibly docked at the station. Its captain had falsified records and fled, leaving behind 12 massive cargo crates, sealed with humming energy shields. Daniel crouched, pulling out his handheld scanner. Strange, I'm getting biosigns inside. Small, weak. Rintal's expression hardened. That's not possible. Show me. The screen pulsed with dozens of faint heartbeats. Open it, she ordered, her voice trembling. Daniel keyed, and he override. The shield flickered out, and he heaved the lid open. What they saw froze them both. Children, dozens of alien children, packed together inside the crate. Different species, different worlds. Some with feathers, some with translucent skin, some covered in soft fur, others with small horns or fragile wings. All of them crammed into confined space, lying half unconscious under faint stasis fields, their breathing shallow, their bodies fragile. Daniel whispered, "Oh, God!" One small girl stirred, her skin crystalline and glowing with faint golden veins. Her enormous eyes fluttered open. She whimpered softly and reached her tiny hand toward Daniel. He let her wrap her fingers around his. Something inside him cracked. Rintal's wings quivered. This isn't just smuggling. This is horror. These children were meant for the black market, as slaves, as trophies. The rescue. The entire station erupted in chaos. Medics rushed in with thermal blankets, oxygen injectors, nutrient packs. Each child was carefully lifted out of crates. Some were little more than skin and bone, others too weak to cry. Daniel refused to hand a glowing girl to anyone else. She whispered one word, Lyra, when asked her name, and clung to him with desperate strength. Meanwhile, Rintal found herself surrounded by 3 feather hatchlings. They nestled under her wings, trembling, and she instinctively sang them a soft Veari lullaby. But the real question loomed over them. Where would dozens of alien children go? The outpost couldn't care for them long term. Daniel said bitterly, medical treatment will keep them alive, but not for long. They need something more. They need parents. Rintal's voice was firm. Then we find them, even if we must call the entire galaxy. The broadcast appeal. Together. They made a dangerous decision, to broadcast their discovery across Accord space. Daniel sat before the holocron with Lyra clinging to his chest. We found children crammed in cargo crates, he said, voice hoarse. They're not property. They're not for sale. If you have a home, a family, a heart, come for them. They need love, not cages. Rintal added, her voice steady and resonant. These children are the future. They must not vanish into darkness. Help us give them homes. The message swept like wildfire through the stars. Responses poured in. Families from human colonies, from Veari enclaves, from the aquatic cities of Zathra, even nomadic clans living among the asteroid belts. People wept on screen, begging to adopt a child. Some promised protection. Some promised education. Some simply promised love. For the first time, hope filled the outpost. The syndicate strikes back. Hope always draws enemies. 5 nights later, alarms blared across Mirabel. Black syndicate warships warped in, firing ion bursts to disable defenses. Their goal was clear. Reclaim the cargo. Silence the witnesses. Daniel and Rintal sprinted to the infirmary. Lyra clung to Daniel's neck, trembling in terror. Stay with me, he whispered, though he knew she wouldn't let go anyway. The corridors became chaos. Station guards clashed with syndicate mercenaries, plasma bolts cutting through the air. Rintal moved like a storm, her wings slicing shadows as she struck down invaders. Daniel fought beside her, his fury burning hotter with every shot, because in his mind he saw those children back in crates. A mercenary broke through, charging straight for the infirmary doors. Daniel aimed, his weapon jammed. Time slowed. The mercenary raised his gun, and a child's voice cried, "No!" Lyra's body blazed with light. A wave of golden energy erupted from her tiny frame, throwing the mercenary across the corridor into unconsciousness. Daniel stared in shock. "Kid, what the hell was that?" Rin Tao's eyes widened. Her species are latent energy wielders. She's stronger than even she knows. The Syndicate attack collapsed under reinforcements. Their ships fled into hyperspace. But the message was clear. They would not give up. A new family. Weeks later, under heavy security, families began to arrive at Mirabel. Tearful reunions filled the infirmary as children slowly went to new homes. Parents embraced them, promising safety and love. But not all the children left. Lyra refused to be parted from Daniel. She clung to his jacket and cried whenever anyone else reached for her. Rin Tao said softly, "She is chosen." Daniel shook his head. "I'm a soldier, not a father." "You are both," Rin Tao replied, as the three feathered hatchlings clambered onto her arms, chirping Mama. She tried to hide her emotion, but her wings betrayed her warmth. Paperwork was finalized weeks later. Daniel K. became the legal guardian of Lyra. Rin Tao adopted the Avai hatchlings. The rest of the children found homes scattered across the stars. The Syndicate still hunted, but now the galaxy was watching. Smuggled children could no longer vanish into shadows. Epilogue. Months later, in the garden dome of Mirabel Outpost, Daniel sat on a bench with Lyra curled against his chest, glowing faintly like a tiny star. He brushed her crystalline hair as she slept soundly. Rin Tao approached, her three little ones clinging to her wings. She sat beside him, gaze gentle. "Do you ever wonder why we were sent to that ship?" she asked quietly. Daniel looked at Lyra, then at the stars beyond the glass. Maybe fate, or maybe the universe just knew these kids needed parents. Rin Tao smiled faintly. "Then we must never let the universe down." Above them, the stars burned quietly. Somewhere out there, families were healing because two officers had opened a crate and refused to look away. The children were no longer cargo, no longer evidence, no longer forgotten. They were loved, and they finally had parents.